You know, it's a boy DJ Chaddy and I'm back again. People, wagwan. I hope everybody good. I hope everybody alright. So, in this episode of the Chaddy More TV, so to say, it's going to be like a little special. You see me? As I was gonna say the title, it's going to be about sickle cell and sickle cell awareness. So today is sickle cell awareness day. And if you never know, no, no, go no. I'm diagnosed with sickle cell, and that's the main reason why I decided to do this video. So, in this video, we are going to talk about sickle cell, yeah, some of the mythbusters of sickle cell, some of the fact of sickle cell. How can one get sickle cell? Is sickle cell contagious? So, we're going to talk about all of that. And I have a special guest with me. So, all of that and more coming up.
Yeah, Chaddy Marie, I'm your biggest fan.
What a vibes! What a vibes!
So I'm joined here today with the beautiful Shanice, and we are gonna discuss this topic about sickle cell. Matter of fact, me and her just gonna have a discussion, and she's diagnosed with sickle cell as well. So I really appreciate her for forward on this platform, and we and her have this discussion because people need to know about this. You see me? I'm glad say wanna stay around for watch this video. It's not all about the mix up and dancehall and Ray. Alright? So Shanice, what's going on?
Hi, good night.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, by the way.
Yes, and thank you for being here. Alright?
Always, anything to promote awareness and pushing our message forward. Game, always.
Okay, so um you are diagnosed with sickle cell, right?
Sure, from the age of 5, I think I was, and my diagnosis was just out of this world crazy. But then, I'm not orthodox like that. So my story is always going to be a bit. But how I was diagnosed was my mom used to send me to swimming lessons.
Yeah.
I'm from Western Jamaica. So my mom used to send me to swimming lessons in the summer. And that time the hotel was called Poinciana. I think right now it has changed names so many times. But the gist of the story is I would go to swimming lessons early in the morning. And when I get home, I'd be crying. And of course, I would get a flagging for it because she's like, oh, you just don't want to go. You just don't want to. I think I've been antisocial from back then. So she thought that was the reason until my aunt was like, stop, look into the scenario. Which little girl has the opportunity to run around a hotel all day?
Exactly, yeah.
Uncontrolled, can be wherever. However, for a full more than 8 hours because I was there with my aunt.
Yeah.
So which little girl can get access to that, but yet doesn't want to do it? This is something going on. There's something going on. Stop beating her and try to figure out what's really the problem. That time I was being pain, but I didn't know how to verbalize. You get what I'm saying? I just really think, oh, I don't want to go or whatever. Honestly, I started believing basically what she was saying.
And at that point, they took her to the hospital and find out that sickle cell.
It got worse because I would get high temperatures, and just a lot of things. Pain. I would cry a lot from my stomach. Like I would have, and they finally took me to this pediatrician, and she run the test, and of course, I have sickle cell, and mine is SS. So I don't know what you have, but
so
I
am
know.
I SS.
Oh, so you are SS.
Yes.
And SS means basically.
All right. Before we go in it, because probably some people wonder what is sickle cell. So
Okay.
a lot of persons probably don't know. But Sickle cell is when your red blood cell it's shaped like a sickle, hence the name sickle cell. So it gets stuck in your blood vessels and oh it go catch me up.
It's a hereditary disease.
Yes, it's
So it simply
genetics.
means genetics.
Yeah,
It has to be passed on through your genes. So it's not contagious. Nothing is
it's
wrong with
not.
us. A lot of us can live healthy, normal lives. A lot of us, for example, I remember when I was diagnosed and I was going to the sickle cell unit, they'd be like, "You don't belong here," because just looking at me, nobody could tell I'm a sickler, you know?
That's true
So,
because a lot of sickle cell patients they're normally slim, kind of slim like I am.
but
Although I
that's
get
as
fat
well,
still, but
that as well is kind of a myth, because our body metabolize things in different ways, and you get what I'm saying. So
yes,
everybody, we come in different size, shape, forms, fashion, and
looks.
all of that. Oh yeah,
So it's when your cell shape like a little sickle, so it cause a
it's like the
whole lot of
crescent
problem.
moon, if I should say.
Yeah,
It's more crescent shape.
and you ending up with less red blood cell, so that cause pose a problem. Else, red blood cell transfer oxygen throughout the body
Right.
and
And
stuff like that. So
thank you. And that's the reason it's our body lacks oxygen because we don't have the or enough or the proper shape cells to carry enough oxygen throughout the
exactly.
body. Hence, that's why we feel a lot of pain when
S-
those
the-
cells starting to clump together.
exactly.
So,
Yeah. So because they are not round, they are not able to flow through the blood vessels that freely.
properly. Hmm.
So they get clot and then causes a that's how you get the joint pain and the whole lot of pain all over your body. Like sickle cell patients, they're known for having joint pain. Um
Hmm.
and they're known for having is it the spleen enlarging?
A lot of times it can affect the spleen. Yes, you are
Yes.
right.
Affect the
Not
kidneys.
everybody. Sickle cell. Okay, so anything that's genetic and bloodborne, it can affect basically any
Yeah.
organ.
But it work for different persons
Right.
differently.
Everybody
Everybody
has a different
kind of
story
different. Yeah.
because I know with mine, I still have my spleen, but a lot of sicklers, their spleen got removed.
Yes.
When my crisis, when I have both of the crisis, the first organ they start checking out for me is my lungs.
Yeah.
And there we digress into a whole different ballgame because acute chest syndrome is one of the leading cause of death in sicklers. So
Yeah.
therefore, that's one of the first thing they check for to make sure that you know my lungs are okay, at least for that moment. And then they try to do hydration and IV medication and all of that stuff to reduce my pain. And then from there, you know. So Chaddy, you didn't share your sickle cell story with us. How were you diagnosed?
All right. I was diagnosed at the age of if it's not 10, it's 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it never bothered me that much. I used to get a lot of pain in my belly and
Mm.
I couldn't run. I couldn't do no physical activity.
Activity, right?
So as I run for like probably half an 30 seconds or probably a minute, I start
Mm. Right, because that
get
oxygen
light
is limited.
heading. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
we could do the sports, we could do the PE, like none of that. Up to now, that's why I'm not really a fan of sports that much. I
Me
watch it, but
either, because I was exempt throughout
yeah.
school, throughout all my high school career. It
Yes.
I was exempt, so okay, I do the practical, but then the theory.
Could
No,
have
I do
go,
the theory, but the
but not.
practical.
I
Sorry,
understand.
right, because I'm
Could have
all
go.
passionate.
Could have go. Beach. That was a big problem. I'm a fan of the beach. So
Me
like,
too.
if I go into in the water and spend like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, me start shiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you never see like back in the days, those like Looney Tune or so, when them start fret and them teeth like literally some teeth used to just lick together, and
Right, right.
they found out that I have sickle cell. And
Wow.
I mean,
And how did your family deal with that?
them deal with it good, man. Very, very, very good. Like,
Mhm.
even though my mother like overprotective and them thing, but
Because and so am I. You're the only child for your
mm-hmm.
parents. I'm
Yes.
the only child for my mom, but it's just been, my mom and I, and she's like that too, And what if I tell you it was in my adult years that I even went on a roller coaster? Because I'd go to some of the biggest parks
Kind
here
I
in
never
the
go up on
United
one
States
yet still. You see me?
because,
So
because height actually can bring on a crisis.
yes.
And
And
then
I didn't know that until I met you.
and then you would wonder why I fly so much though.
Yeah.
I'm always on a flight, but when I'm on a flight, I try to get like extra leg room. I'll get up through the flight and I walk around because I don't want clots. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it does cause a problem. And I was telling you about that story about the first African American uh, stewardess for a big airline, Margaret Grant, I think her name was, and she was terminated because back then she was terminated because they discovered that she had sickle cell disease.
Yeah.
You
So
can go and look at that story in
sickle
your
cell,
spare
I
time.
mean, it kinda rough. It rough. Not kinda, it rough. Sickle cell
Mhm.
patient got through a lot of pain. Even with my YouTube, sometimes when I see me absent and
Mhm.
either may I go through a crisis or something, like it kinda rough. But it doesn't really affect me that much. Still have some little complications, but it don't really affect me. Like I rarely get giant pain. Like
Yeah.
up until I'm like 26 or so, I've never get a giant pain.
Mhm.
And other
You're
person
lucky.
might say same thing.
You're
Shanice
blessed
might say I'm
because
lucky.
you know mine. You know how you know,
But then sometime I get like cut on my foot and it not
and it's
easy.
hard to get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's hard
very
to
hard to
heal.
heal, or
Yeah.
um some other little complications me get, but it's not that difficult. I mean, as I said before, everybody have their story.
Right. And every
Everybody have
secular
them
story is
story.
different.
It's
Every
different.
secular story is different. It's not a cookie cutter thing, you know.
No.
It's real, and that's what gets me so angry at times too, because everybody is affected by this in some different way, shape, or form. But yet, there's not enough research done to
Not
figure
even
out,
research alone,
you
awareness.
know,
So
exactly,
one in every
exactly,
10 person in Jamaica have sickle cell trait.
is
If you have
thank
sickle
you.
cell, if you have the trait of sickle cell, you show no symptom. But if you have a
Not all the
child,
time either.
not all the time, most
Right,
time. I'm glad I
right,
said so.
right.
Most times though. But if you have a child with someone who has probably a
The
SS
trait,
or even the trait,
right.
chances are that the kid will
The
come
child can
having
be.
sickle cell.
Has a doctor ever put a limit on your
Yeah.
lifespan? What was your age? What was the age they gave you?
Yo, when me young,
What
I'm
was the
just
age you were given?
when I just found out that I have it, like the first age they gave me, I think it was like 30. But they don't,
30?
yeah, I think it was 30 or
Oh,
28 or something like that. They
okay.
don't really give me an age, Them but them just stock it on that style. Like then I say, okay, so sickle cell persons, they have a high chance of dying. They are not passing 30 or something like so. I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty close to there.
And give God thanks
I give God
because the
thanks.
Almighty saw fit for you to still be here.
Yes.
You know,
Because
despite everything that happens, we're still here.
yeah, a lot of person with sickle cell not necessarily meet that age limit. It's just the other day, a person from my hometown, Port Antonio, she died of sickle cell, and
May her soul rest in peace.
she was I think about 35 or 34,
Wow.
something like that. So
So
I mean, we have to give God the glory.
we have to,
Yeah.
because and no man should put, you know, a pause or a comma on our life because you're not the creator. You're not.
So what was your age?
My mine was 20.
20?
I would have never lived to see 20.
Yeah.
And by the grace of God, more than a decade over the 20, right?
Okay.
So God is good. I'm not going to say it was easy
Yes.
because I've shared personal stories with you. You know that my journey hasn't been an easy one.
Yeah, it rough.
However, sicklers have this talk to say God give his strongest warriors. Like God will put, oh my gosh, I cannot remember the term. I
God
always used to
give
use
sickle
it.
cell to its strongest
They call
warriors.
us warriors for a reason now.
Yes, because sickle cell
To
people
his
normally strong.
strongest warriors.
Sickle cell
Thank you.
persons are
That
normally
was what I was
strong.
looking for. We are. We're fighters.
Yes.
We're fighters. We're advocates in our own rights. We are hard at loving people because we know what it takes to be here on earth. We are courageous people. We're strong people. You know, we're so multi-layered. Worse because we've been through this path together. This was what bonded me and you, Chaddy.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
and I I'd love for there to be a cure, but for right now,
There's none.
I'm living a day at a time. I'm trying to make the best of it, you know, and I try to spread awareness as much as possible. I don't hide anything about my sickness.
And there are some notable persons with sickle cell. Um, Beanie Man has sickle cell. A lot of
Sure.
persons don't know. And even
You told me that. I didn't know that.
yes, not last year, 2018, he donated $300,000 to the sickle cell unit in UWI.
UA.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's
UA
only
has an
like
amazing.
one sickle cell, what I should say, clinic in Jamaica. Well, it's two because they have one at in Montego Bay, but it's the same people that
Yes, it's the
operate it.
same set of
The
doctors that
same set
actually
of
go down
doctors.
to Montego Bay. But honestly, Jamaica has a good sickle cell unit. Thanks to UA, they have done studies upon studies upon studies. They pour into, research for sickle cell.
Yes.
Sagicor is a company that normally gives to the Sickle Cell Foundation in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Jamaica is very progressive when it comes on to sickle cell research.
Yeah.
It affects a lot of our community, but people don't even share that. It's easy for
Because
us to spot one another, but I don't know.
sickle cell is one of those forgetting disease. I mean, is it clear to say forgetting disease? Like they don't really put a lot of attention on sickle cell.
Yeah,
They don't. And
yeah.
one of my pledge when I say I start YouTube, I really, really want to bring awareness to sickle cell. And this is like one of my first steps. I still want to start a sickle cell foundation. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I hope we go about doing it, but like if any of my subscribers them like they wanna be a part of it or they wanna help, when they can always shout me up. Me not hard for reach. The links
Right.
them in the description. Um Anything else you wanna say?
Another prominent person that advocates for sickle cell internationally is T-Boz from the group TLC. Because I don't know how many people know, but she is a sickler, and she's beaten a lot of odds. Um, Lorenzo Tate, what was something
Sure, I don't know
is
them people.
you can always jump on Google and find out these people, but they advocate. I just shared a group with you. Join Gen S. That
Yes,
was
join
it.
Gen S.
Right. And Jordan Sparks. She is an international artist, actress, and she's an advocate for. She's actually the face of Join Gen S right now, and there are young people there. There are middle-aged people. I was reading a story of a woman. She's in her 70s, maybe. She has a child who is like a doctor now. Like it's very inspirational to know that we're everywhere and people are trying to fight for us. People are trying to bridge that gap and help us fight and spread that awareness,
Yeah.
because there's so many stigmas and myths that's attached to this disease
You wanna share some of
that we
them?
need to remove.
All right, one of the biggest myth is like it's contagious. It's not contagious. Like one cannot get me and Shan cannot sit beside of a man that don't have sickle cell and them get sickle cell. It's not COVID-19.
Oh my goodness. All right.
And
Another,
it's
so
not a
I'm going
dead
to share.
sentence. And people can live long, long, healthy life. Like
So, as you
look at
say that,
Shan.
let me share actually 5 myths and facts about sickle cell disease,
Yeah.
right? And I think we've touched on all these, but I'm just gonna share something that I found that I think shared by curesicklecell.org. Okay, so number one is pain. The myth is all individuals with sickle cell disease are drug addicts. How many times has that happened to you? I know I've been through it countless times. I've written up doctors, I've written up nurses, I've done it all. I advocate for myself when it comes down to stuff like
I
that.
never, never.
Now, the fact is, you've never been in that situation?
No.
Really? Okay,
No.
thank you. I'm happy
I
for you.
mean,
It's not a nice one to
I
be
know they kind of think that they use painkillers a lot, but I didn't know about the drug addiction thing.
in. Right.
But continue.
Well, the fact of the matter is that the hallmark of sickle cell disease is severe, unpredictable pain sometimes require high doses of narcotics. So our pain doesn't go away with just a simple Tylenol. You know, Tylenol
Yes.
doesn't cut it for us. It's not like that. Oh, it needs something stronger. Our pain is intense. So I know I'm on narcotics. That's I get IV fluid and narcotics when I enter the hospital. That's how my pain is limited. The second thing we touched on this earlier too, the lifespan. The myth is individuals with sickle cell don't live past the age 21. So based on my doctor, he said 20, right?
Yeah.
Your doctor gave you what, 20?
I think it was
Well, the
I think
fact
it was
is,
28,
the
man.
vast
28 or
majority of
30.
individuals.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm here to tell you that live, live, and just because nobody, like I said earlier, no human should put a full stop on anybody's life. You're not the Almighty, you're not the Creator. So that's a myth right there. Vast majority of individuals that live with sickle cell is well into their adult years. My aunt, she lived to 50 something. She was a sickle cell patient. She has a son. She had a full-time job. She was a college-educated woman. You know, there are people that are living with sickle cell even into their 70s, 80s. Always can jump on Google and find that stuff. Number 3, myth is sickle cell trait is a mild form of sickle cell disease. That's a myth. The fact is, sickle cell trait is not a disease. It is generally an anti-symptomatic carrier state. So that means you are a carrier of the disease. You don't have to have signs of it. You don't have to, suffer through anything that a regular SS. However, there are people that trait does affect, especially when they're going up in age. You
Yeah.
know, you're not eating properly, you didn't live a healthy life or whatever. And then if you're a carrier of sickle cell, if you get with somebody else that's also a carrier, your child is at higher risk of getting the full-blown disease, which it would be SS. Number 4. Uh, number 4. Oh, hold on. Touching back on the trait, it says 1 out of 13 African Americans has sickle cell trait, and many don't know that they have it. Can you imagine? 1 out of 13. All right, so moving on to race. That's a big thing
Yeah,
because
cause
according
according to them it's only a black people disease.
minority disease, right? So here it is, race, myth. Sickle cell disease only affects black people. Now, Chaddy, this one gets very personal to me because you know my background, right? And I said this to my hematologist, like, predominantly I can trace sickle cell back to my mother's end. Not so much my father, but my mom. No, you and I know that, and then it's split. So when you go to my end, it's not that my mother's mother is the carrier, but it's my grandfather. And
Which
what's my grandfather again?
white.
He's a white man, full bred white, no black. He is actually Scottish Irish. So when I spoke to my hematologist about this, she's like, yeah, that's a myth. It is a myth, you know? So here it says sickle cell is seen in people of many races, and I'm a proof to that. I can testify to that. I didn't know until the passing of my aunt that a child had died in my family years ago, and he was also full bred white. Um, I'm a black woman, but they were white, you
Yeah.
know. And the last one, myth 5, bone marrow stem cell transplant is a universal cure. Again, far from true. It says the fact is not all individuals with sickle cell are eligible for a stem cell transplant. There are associated risks. To learn more about the NIH Cure Sickle Cell Initiative. You can visit curesicklecell.org. So speaking on this, I've had a lot of crisis, a lot of hospitalizations. I've been to death door and back. Um, I was offered years ago to do the bone marrow transplant, and even recently, I was offered to look into it again. Here, the thing is, a lot of people take a risk. Sometimes when you hit rock bottom, there is nowhere to go but up. I don't think I'm there as yet. The risk for a bone marrow transplant is 50-50. So you have 50% chance of living, 50% chance of dying.
Yep.
If you do get past that surgery, there's still a chance of your body rejecting this, and you can die in the after the process is over. So in healing process, which I don't know how many people know about a bone marrow transplant, but after you've done the surgery, you have to go in isolation and all of that stuff. Your body can reject all of that, so
It's similar to having a
there's
blood transplant where your body can reject the blood, I think.
yes, but the bone
But
marrow
it's
is more
worse.
detrimental.
Yes.
It is. It is. So there is no cure for sickle cell. The only thing that's possible is they can help us to live a more satisfactory life in terms of the medication, us keeping hydrated, staying away from factors that contribute to our crisis. I don't know what triggers your crisis, Chaddy. What's one of the things that trigger your crisis?
Cool.
The weather.
The
Okay.
weather normally close to winter time.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Not really. I get sick often, like easy to catch flu and stuff like that. I have a very, 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 very low
Compromised
immune
immune
system.
system.
Very
Exactly.
low. That's why when COVID come about, like I was kind of scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Does stress
Cause
trigger your crisis?
huh?
Does stress trigger your crisis?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I
Okay.
don't think so. No. As I
Well,
said, I don't really
everybody
get crisis
triggers mine.
crisis a regular crisis like like a you.
Okay.
So and the
Our stories are different.
altitude thing,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it bother me like that. But then again, I don't really
Have you ever
fly
noticed though?
often like that. But I remember once when I
Mm-hmm.
flew, like I was
Mm-hmm.
good before I leave. After I land in Jamaica, I start feeling a lot of pain for like 2 days. I'm sick. So
Mm-hmm.
that could contribute to it, but
It
I don't
could
really
be.
fly often like that, and my flying is not really high. And because right, I'm on a military base, and it's pretty close to Jamaica, so and it's military planes, they don't really fly a lot. At least the one that high fly. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not
Well,
in the military, by the way. And if you're trying to be in the Jamaica Defense Force, they won't take you
because of sickle
because
cell.
they have sickle cell. So
It's there's a lot of limitation.
they would take you in the Navy. I'm not sure about like the Army, the Marine. I know they would take you in the Navy, and they would take you in the Army.
I
But
don't
I'm not
know.
sure about the Marine though, because the Marine them kind of different. But they will take you in the U.S. military. But
I don't
Jamaica
have any clue about
military,
that.
Jamaica them, and there's a couple jobs that like sickle cell people normally do. As you said earlier, flight attendant or being a pilot and stuff like that. Because they say stay too much so long in the air, it will trigger a crisis. So they normally
It-
stay away from high altitude.
There are people out there that are in, are
They
sicklers that
are.
are pilots,
They
but
are. They
it's
are. But
far and few between, it's
yes.
not that prevalent. Families of sicklers, we thank you. It's not
Exactly.
easy. It is not easy being our support system. You watch us suffer uncontrollably, and has you have no control over, you know anything at all. You don't know how to help us. You don't know what are the right words to say. You don't know. It's like you're just a spectator. And for some of you, it gets frustrating. Some of you feel our pain, maybe not physically, but emotionally. We thank you. I thank you because it's not easy. I thank the nurses that push hard to make sure a sickler is in a comfortable state, especially when going through a crisis. You make sure we're properly medicated. You don't judge us when we ask for another dose of medication because it's out of our control. And to the doctors, the ones that take time to try to understand us, to call a colleague and be like, I have a patient. I don't know how to maneuver this. What's my next step? To those doctors that go the extra mile for people like us, I thank you. You are the ones that make it easy, a little bit easier for us to be like, okay, I'm going through a crisis. Let me try and get help. It's people like you. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
family, friends, doctors, nurses, thank you. Your support is needed always. Don't ever think we overlook you guys. We're feeling the pain, but we also feel the pain of you there just looking at us going through it. I know I have, you know. There are always support groups on different platforms wherever you may live or whatever. You can always ask your doctors or whoever about support groups. But I'm sure about support groups on Facebook. Chaddy, which support group? You were telling me about
Sickle
one
cell
that,
warrior.
okay. And I'm sure there are many on Facebook.
Yeah,
Just
there's a
type
lot
in
of group.
there's a host of
Whole lot.
information, you know.
Yeah.
Please share the word. Please make yourself aware, educate yourself. It's it's not hard to ask somebody, oh, what's your day like as a sickle cell patient? You're gonna hear a lot of stories. Might be different from mine, it might be different from Chaddy's. But sometimes just spread the word a little bit. I have two girlfriends, and I'm gonna share the story because it's people like that who make the world just a little bit better. Two girlfriends, one in Jamaica, one here in the States. One is a medical student, and the other is in Jamaica, doing her thing, university grad and everything. She, years ago, Sagicor, Sagicor normally do that 5K run, right? And she, out of the blue, she sent me a picture, and I'm like, what's this? And she said, I'm not a runner, but I'm gonna finish this race because of you. Sagicor is donating the money that's made from this race to the sickle cell organization in Jamaica. And I'm gonna cross that finish line in honor of your name.
Yeah.
People like that, come on. people like that make you want to get up, and no matter how hard the pain is, you push through it, because you know somewhere somebody is cheering you on and wants the best for you. My girlfriend, who is a medical student, she says every time she does research as well, and she says every time I'm going to do something, I make sure my eyes are set. I'm aware of what new medication is coming out for sicklers. What's, is there a budget for research for sickle cell? I keep abreast because people like you, Shanice, keep me going. That's my purpose in life. And I want to say to those two ladies, I love you and thank you for just your little contribution to making the world a better place for people like me and Chaddy.
Well said. Well, I've a cousin of sickle cell, and if he has been through more than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point he had to miss out the entire school year because he was sick.
Oh,
So he been through a lot. I think he's doing good now, not bad. At one point they thought he wasn't gonna walk. I think
wow.
because he had to walk with a brace. Like,
Mm.
so he had the on the brace for, I think, if it wasn't 2 year, it was 1.5 year, and it rough him.
And by the grace of God, he's still alive, right?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's should be
Man,
about like 16 now. He's
60s.
in yeah, he's in his teens.
Okay. So
But
he still
he
have more
still
years to go.
he still have some more long
Yeah,
years to go, man.
yeah,
But he's in his teens. But
yeah.
as I
He'll,
said, that's my story. And what you was gonna say before I cut you?
no, I said he'll make it.
He'll make it. People, honestly, like it really take a lot of out of me for come right here and do it. Like, me literally not do this because me literally just I do this genuine. Like, my native I go put no ads on the video. Like, cause it's not like me I do this to make no money or nothing like that. Me not put no ads on the video. So me I do it genuine people. If you don't know nobody will have sickle cell, just as a chance say hit them up, ask them all them days and thing like that. Like, it kinda rough for we. It rough.
Yes.
It very rough. And because it's such diverse, it's like everything not happen one way. So wanna go on for me, probably bad for our next person and
Right.
stuff like that, just rough. So it's just for bring awareness. And today is sickle cell awareness day. So hopefully soon I can figure out how me I go do this charity thing. But me really want give back. I just don't know how. I don't know how me I go do it. If you don't have no suggestion, don't be afraid to hit me up or not like that. So
You'd
basically,
be so amazed that it only takes one. You can always, I know where you're going at. I know you want a foundation, just like myself. That's one of my end goals. But even if it's just call Yui and make a contribution
yeah,
to, you know,
yeah,
even if you guys are listening that are not sicklers, here is a good thing. Donate blood. Go to a blood drive and
yes.
just donate. Sicklers, we take a lot of
Lot of blood,
transfusion. And
blood.
in Jamaica, it is not as I live in the States, but it's not easy, for people in Jamaica, because if your blood count doesn't drop to a certain level, they won't transfuse you. And then other criteria that goes into it.
I had
So
my
if you can
first
donate,
transplant, transfusion, in December when I was sick.
that was the first
And
one you had?
yeah, like
Wow.
I think it was how much? 4 units or 8 units or
I've
something
been
like that.
getting
I don't
transfused
remember.
since I was a child,
Yeah, that was the first
you
one.
know?
So
And I've never been in the hospital where I don't get 2 units of blood. It has never been less. So if you can donate as a healthy person, you don't have to have a family with sickle cell. You don't have to have a friend. You don't, just do something good. Do something good. It takes nothing out of you to just show up to a blood bank. You will always have them. Here in the States, it's very easy. I think here they even pay you in the States to donate your blood. I don't know how Jamaica goes about it, but we need it. Your blood helped to save our lives. How simple that is. You generate blood in return to save another human's life. You're the hero. That's your contribution. That's how you give back. It takes nothing at all. Nothing. It doesn't have to be monetary all the time.
yeah.
You know, it really doesn't. It doesn't.
Yep. So I think we said it all. So like if you reach to this point in the video, cause I know this is going to be a long ass video. Yo, big up yourself. At least comment in the comment section and say, yo, I made it to this point, to the end. All right.
And support us as sicklers. Sickle strong. That's the hashtag. Sickle strong. For tomorrow, for sorry, not for tomorrow. For
For
today,
today.
make your hashtag sickle strong. All right? We're gonna fight this together. Okay? So be our support system. You don't have to, not me, link me, but you can link Chaddy or whoever, and be like, yo, we don't. We support you. You know, a little bit of support goes a long way. Put a smile on Chaddy's face. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
Thank you guys.
a cycle. So that's it, right? Nothing more. That's it. So when you know what they do already, like, comment, share, subscribe, and please comment. Let me know if like you have a family member with sickle cell or anything like that. All right. So it's a boy DJ Chaddy and I'm out. A one way. Any other way? Or the wrong way. I'm gone.